Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I won't stay on this page too long, we'll just get straight into it, shall we? Hello everyone, welcome back! Last week we were messing around with some different materials and in a different sketchbook, so we didn't see our sketchbook this time. But today I've decided that I'm going to play with one of my birthday presents. Yay! It was my birthday last week. So, well, as of filming, it was 2 days ago. I am actually going to be using these. I am very excited. I have actually gone open these and swatched them, but I haven't actually drawn with them yet. They are the Ohuhu Nahuku acrylic markers, a 24 set. I have no idea if I said that right. I'm Welsh, so you're going to have to forgive me if I say things wrong. And it's very pretty. The colours are so nice. You can see that's the swatch card that comes with it. And here's the swatch card that I've already filled in. As you can see, the colours are absolutely gorgeous. It comes with 2 swatch sheets and a colour card as what they're expecting it to look like. I've already gone ahead and filled these out because I got really excited when I had them. I just had to see how they looked. I had a little experiment as well to see how things would blend. And I think I just need a bit more practice with these ones specifically. That's all. Also, I don't think I left it dry enough when I went over the black again. But, these are really lovely. I can't wait to put them into a drawing. Now, I will say with these pens, what's really cool about them is that you can actually see the, be nice if my camera focus. Yeah, here we go. What's really nice about them is that you can actually see the paint that's in the barrel. That's not a sticker or anything, that is the paint inside. You can actually see a bubble moving around in there now and again. So, that is what we're working with. My only thing, they're quite short. So whilst I would like a pen to have a little bit of reach beyond my hand, these really can't do that. It's kind of sitting in the nook of my thumb. And that's actually quite uncomfortable for me personally. I don't know if it's me with a weird hand shape, or I don't think I have a weird hand shape. But that's just how it is. But I'm still super duper excited to use these. I asked for these specifically for my birthday. So, this is going to be a completely honest review of them, since I have them now, so I want to play with them. So, what am I drawing? I think they like the birdseed I gave them. Crows! We are drawing crows. I love crows. I like to put some birdseed out when I'm visiting my dad and we'll just watch them flying around and hopping around. They got such cute, funny little faces. So I really wanted to add them to my sketchbook. I was actually quite lucky for once that I had my phone on me when they visited, because now I was able to take that little clip that you just saw, as well as some photos that I could use for reference. Only one of the sketches in my book is from a photograph I found online, and that's only because the photo I did take in a similar pose ended up being far too blurry to use. But I still wanted to draw a crow in midair, so that's why I ended up using the online reference. I just love the one I'm drawing right now. His face is so cute. This sketch is the one that I used a reference from online for. Sadly, I have actually lost where I had gotten that reference because silly me didn't take note when I had actually drawn it. I should have. I need to be much better at that. I really like crediting people when I use their references, but I just have forgotten to this time. I'm so sorry. I'm not entirely sure if these are actually crows or if they're jackdaws. I know there is a difference, but I'm not entirely sure exactly what it is. My dad says that jackdaws have more grey on the top of their heads than crows do. But either way, I love both birds, and I consider both of them to be lucky. Reason being is because after reading my favourite book series, 6 of Crows, whenever I can count up to 6 of them, I consider it a good day. Silly, I know, but that's just how I feel about it. Did you know that a group of crows is called a murder? And they're actually extremely intelligent birds. If you feed them and they like you, they will actually sometimes bring you back tokens. And that's why I've drawn little bits of rubbish all around the page, just as like a little nod to them bringing back stuff to people who feed them and that they like. But also, never upset a crow. Reason why is they can actually recognize faces, and if they don't like you, they will tell all their other little crow buddies, and, well, they will come and annoy you. They will swoop at you, they will poop on you, they will cause property damage sometimes. They will do anything they can to upset you. Hello again! Okay, it's the next day. I had to go somewhere yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to color it in. But I'm able to do it now, so I'm so excited. I'm gonna start with this little guy here because he's such a small space here. I can experiment a little bit and see what works best. If he doesn't look very good, then at least he's just in the corner. This is gonna be really interesting because these pens, there aren't that many darks. They're very, very vibrant, and I love vibrant colors, don't get me wrong. But crows are not very vibrant in color. Yes, they are very colorful birds if you catch them in the sunlight. But they're still grey and black birds. So this will be fun. So here I am, finally going in with the markers. They are the Ohuhu Nahuku markers. I have been struggling to say that, and I have a lot of thoughts on them. Some good, some bad. It's a mixed bag, really. I like them to some extent, but then I had a lot of issues with them as well. Let's start with the length of the pens themselves. They're actually not as bad as I had predicted they would be to use, but I do think they could have been a little bit longer. You can extend them a little bit by actually putting the cap on the back of the pen, which is actually really nice so that you don't lose the caps. But for some reason, I didn't think about doing this when I was drawing. I just left the cap on the side like I normally do with all my pens. Okay, so I've just gone and used these two greys. If the camera would focus, would be nice. Hello. There we go. I know one's supposed to be like a warm grey and the other one's supposed to be more of a cool grey. But when they go down on the paper, they're the exact same. Look. I was even cleaning off the nibs because some of the wet paint was mixing in. This is the light. This is the cooler. This is the warmer. They're basically the same, they're only slightly different. So, I think I would have preferred a grey that was a little bit darker, instead of just a warm and a cool grey that are the same tone. No? Well, if this drawing wasn't going wrong before, it definitely is now. I start mixing in a lot more colours than I needed to, and I actually really ruined this piece. But it's okay, I bring it back. It gets saved. Don't worry about it. Definitely got a whole lot worse when I added the red and the black. We must remember, in order to learn and grow, we need to make mistakes. And I'm actually glad I made these mistakes, because even though this looks really ugly right now, it looks so much better later, because I realized what I did wrong, and I corrected it. Well, that definitely did not go as intended. This is terrible. The pens are lovely. Nothing on the pens. It's a me issue. I thought, oh, I'll add black and I'll go back on more color and see if I can still get the effect I'm looking for. I think I'm going overboard. And I do that sometimes. I know it's bad. Like, sometimes color theory just goes whoop out the window. Even though I have studied it, I was there when the magic was written, blah blah blah. So I think, once this dries, I'm gonna go back over it and see if I can salvage it. I think that the best thing about these pens are how they layer on top of each other. You can see with that blue that it was almost completely opaque after going back over all that black, red, and green and all that other stuff that was going on. It looked really nice, but I still had to go back over it. I still had to wait for it to dry before going back over it. So I did muddy the colors a little bit more, but I managed to fix it again. That blue definitely came in clutch. I love that color blue, but I was gonna have issues with it later. You will see. Not everything is sunshine and rainbows. Never have I known a pen that was as satisfying to use as they were to look at. They were so nice to use. They glid over the paper, they glid over itself. It was so smooth, wasn't scratchy at all, they were so juicy. I could have eaten them. Oh my goodness, I love them so much. I also just wanted to state, because these were a birthday gift, they were not sent to me by Ohuhu or anybody else to review. So these are my complete honest thoughts and reaction to using these pens. Just go goes to show that these pens are pretty good, because I have just gone over that entire mess and I have fixed it. I'm a lot happier with this outcome than I was the other one. I mostly use the darkest blue, which is this, and then some purples, and then lighter blues and greys. And the palest yellow I have for the eye. It's a lot better than it was, definitely. Goes to show I do mess up sometimes, and best course of action, try rethink your strategy. If you're going in, you see it's not working, go back to it again with a different mindset, which is what I've gone and done. I actually started feeding the birds about 2 years ago. I'd been given a bird feeder that sticks to the window for Christmas, and I had asked for it. I was really excited to use it, but when I did go to use it, the birds just would not land and eat from it. I don't know if it's because there wasn't much room. I picked a small one because I wanted the little birds to come and visit, but they just never were interested, and the crows that did visit didn't eat at the feeder either. They would always eat whatever I dropped. So eventually I just gave up with the bird feeder and just started sprinkling on my windowsill. I realised after the first bit that I really shouldn't be relying on black very much for this, so I decided to rely more on the darkest shade of blue that I had, and it is very nice blue. I really like this blue. But I used that in combination with any other blues I had, so I had 3 specifically. I had the darkest navy blue, then I had a bit of mid blue and more of a baby blue after that. And I used them to kind of bring out the shape more and the highlights, and I used grey then, no white, grey, to bring in the very brightest colour on there, other than the yellow for the eye. I did that because I didn't want to use the white because it would be too strong, I thought, so I tried it with the grey and it ended up working out really well. Working using just the blues and a little bit of purple and grey actually taught me quite a valuable lesson, and that's that I can use hues to actually convey the idea of shading rather than just changing how it's like darker or anything. Like the blue and the purple, they're quite similar on the darkness level, but because I add the purple to where I want it to be a bit darker than the blue, it kind of creates a contrast for the eyes that tricks you into thinking it's darker. I did use black still on this, but very limited, mainly just to like make a line stand out that I couldn't quite get with the blue because I needed it to be dark as well. I managed to get it to work by being very limited in its use. I can't help but laugh whenever I see this bird. I'm sorry. He's just ridiculous. I love him. He looked so silly when he popped his head over the edge of my windowsill and just started staring at me. I'm so glad I managed to take that photo because now I can add him to my sketchbook. Oh, that blue I just used is so satisfying to use. I love just picking out shapes with it and creating some more highlights. It's like sculpting but with a 2D image. It's just really satisfying to do. You know what, I think that using paint pens would be a really good practice for digital artists to use. I myself am also a digital artist. I tend to use Procreate and Paint Tool Sai to draw, but I haven't posted any of those on YouTube yet. Maybe I should. I probably will eventually. But what I'm saying is that normally when drawing digitally, I'm stuck doing line art and then filling them in. I'm not focusing so much on color and blocking. I think by using these pens, I could probably kind of deprogram myself from needing the line art, because I use it as a crutch when I'm doing digital work. Not saying there's anything wrong with line art in your work. I mean, I do it all the time, and I really like artists who do have line art in their work. But then sometimes I think, maybe I don't need this, because I think I rely far too heavily on it. It's now become so ingrained in my process that I'm restricted by it. So if I practice with these pens more and not think about my line art as I'm colouring in, then maybe I might be able to develop a bit more of a freer, looser style, which I probably need in all fairness. Sketchbooks are meant for looseness and practicing and trying new things, as well as developing ideas for later use. But I've been using this sketchbook a little bit quite strict in hopes of just making a pretty book for YouTube. But it is actually helping me because it's getting me back into trying some materials that I haven't touched in a while, or trying new materials that I haven't tried at all. And I'm actually kind of thankful for that because hopefully it's going to open my eyes and have me trying some different methods doing my digital work. I was trying to give this bird a bit more perspective by pushing the larger, more open wing into the back using purples, and I think I succeeded, but I can't really tell. I am glad I did it though, because now you can tell which wing is which. You can tell that the blue wing is the one in the front and the purple one's the one in the back. If I had done them both blue, I have the feeling like it would be very confusing, and I would be confused personally. It'd be like, okay, well, where does this start? Where does this end? It's all the same. Now, for the moment we've all been waiting for. What's wrong with these pens? Da 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 da! They leak, and they leak really badly. I noticed it with this blue one, and I think the only reason I noticed it with the blue one is because it was the first one to actually start escaping from the front. I hadn't even noticed the other ones were leaking too, but when I went back and looked at them, they had started to as well, but they hadn't escaped from the top of it yet, but they were heading in that direction. I was trying to work out why this was happening, and for the life of me, I can't figure it out. I was thinking it can't be me using it too much, because that's their intended purpose, is to be used. It can't be me putting them upside down when I don't do that. I keep them flat on my table when I'm not using them. I have only had these for 2 days by this point, and my blue pen was half empty, so I think it's been leaking more than what I've been using, because I looked into the inside of the cap and it was basically drenched. I had to clean it out with a tissue. I even had to clean the tip of the tissue just so I didn't get it on my hands, but I still got it on my hands. The other pens as well were not as bad, but they were heading in the same direction. I ended up having to show my parents the pens because they were the ones to buy them for me as a birthday gift, and they have been sent back. I no longer have them. My father has put them back in the post and sent them back to the supplier, and I will be getting a different set. I am not keeping these pens. There's no point in me keeping pens if they're broken, especially when I've only had them a couple of days. My parents being who they are, they really want me to be happy with my birthday presents, and they normally ask me how things are working for me when I'm using new supplies. They're like, oh, do you like it? Is it working out for you? And they really appreciate an honest opinion about it, so if I show them what's going on, they'll be like, oh no, we're not having that, we're sending that back. So I picked a different set as a change of it, and they're getting a refund. So if you are going to get these pens, be aware that this is a possibility that you might be facing. Make sure you test them before you use them on anything serious. Also, I just want to note, I wasn't doing anything crazy with them or anything. I was shaking the pens as gently as I could because that's how I am with my pens. I do give them a good shake when they're in the packet, only because they're not getting as good of a shake outside. I could see when the paint was fully mixed, and then I would stop and just continue using them. But then it just, for some reason, did this, and I can't say why. I have no answers. Luckily, I had another marker that was a close color match for the Ohuhu pen, but the only issue is that it was a Crowfoot and Black one, which does like to pill with this paper if I'm not careful with it. So I had to, as I said, be careful with it. Luckily, the Crowfoot and Black marker matched fairly closely with the Ohuhu marker in colour. Now, the bird doesn't stand out as too different from the other ones, especially because I was still able to use the other Ohuhu markers to colour in the rest of the bird. But the reason why I don't tend to use a lot of my Crowfoot and Black markers in this sketchbook is because it does cause paper to pill a bit more. It's got a rougher tip on it that's more of like a hard foam rather than a sponge. So it likes to pill and rip up the paper a bit. I had no pilling whatsoever with the Ohuhu pens, but I had to be very careful with this colour just so it wouldn't do that. Since the Ohuhu paint markers have been sent back, I'm going to be getting the Just Art 24 Colors acrylic paint markers instead. They're also a brush tip with a very similar barrel design to the Ohuhus, so it'll be interesting to see how they perform. They might be a little bit different. I know the colours are different. I'm actually quite excited about the colour selection because there seems to be more yellows and browns in it than in the Ohuhu kit. Also, the Ohuhu kit's colours were extremely bright, which I do love bright colours, but it can be a little bit in the way sometimes if you need a darker tone. Like, I wish I had a richer red when I was using the Ohuhu kit. Looking at the Just Art kit, it seems to have the richer red, but it doesn't have a bright red. But I'm not too concerned about that since I do have other reds that I could use instead. I just wish this wasn't a situation that I would have found myself in because I genuinely like the Ohuhus. But never mind, I suppose. Going back to the drawing for a second, I just wanted to point out that for some reason I decided to colour in my first sketch last, and I really don't know why I did it, I just thought it was kind of funny. For a shortened version of my review, they layer lovely, they feel nice to use, they're a bit on the short side, but they're manageable. But I did have that issue with leaking, so be aware of that. I like these pens, but I won't go back to buying them straight away, mainly because of the leaking issue. I don't want to have to buy a product and then waste half of it in the packaging because it decided to explode on me. If it didn't do that, then I would say that this product would be well worth buying, but it did do that for me, so I'm not going to touch it again. Not unless, like, I run out of pens again and I want to give it a second try. I don't know how this happened, but this crow ended up looking more like a seagull. Just a heads up, what you are about to hear is my genuine reaction to having just finished my drawing and using this product, so I might repeat a few notes. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that video. I really actually had fun painting these crows. They're so cute! I like his face, specifically, but I really like the dynamic pose of this one. Overall, I'm happy. The pens themselves, absolutely wonderful to work with. I love how smooth and spongy the brushes are. But, I will say, I am quite concerned with the leakage. I don't know if that's going to have negative effects. I don't know what went wrong. Even the inside of the cap is completely coated in paint. I've already cleaned this up once, and it looks like it needs to be cleaned again, which is a shame, because the ink's already halfway empty. So, I'm not exactly sure about that. I will say, if you want to go and get paint markers, these are definitely very nice to use, but they will run out very quickly, and, well, there's the leaking issue. I'm not sure where that came from. Whenever I shook them, I didn't shake them vigorously. I gave them, like, just a gentle shake like that, made sure I did it until it looked all mixed up. I keep them laid flat. I do not prop them up or anyway. I did prop these up while I was working with them, just to stop more ink from escaping into the caps in hopes of that helping it. I don't know if it actually did anything, but we'll see. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you will come and join me for next week's video. Bye! Oh hey, you're still here? Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It would really help me out. Bye!